Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is Thursday, March 22nd. I'm not going to the street. And, alright, so first I got some big announcements. I'm going to be dropping my first EP with my new band, Beezy McFly. Our EP will be dropping next month. I'll be letting you guys know a specific date. I'm just getting some things set up beforehand, as well as I've been working on my first debut album with my band. It is, so far we got a bunch of tracks done. We're gonna cycle through the best, and then from there, you know, pick out the track list and all that. So it's been exciting these past few months. I'm currently working on building my YouTube channel, so you know, I'm gonna be posting up a lot more videos, a lot more events, as well as production, so you could be staying tuned for that. I'll let you guys know links when they're all available. Alright, so today, last few videos we've been talking more about the principles of being a singer, the mindset of an artist, and today we're going to talk a little bit different. This is going to be more for the music producers, and it's how to get the best out of an artist. You know, so working in the studio, you're going to be meeting all different types of people, all different types of personalities. It's a wide spectrum, you know, so some people might be overly sensitive, some people just don't give one fuck about anything, you know, and that's what makes everyone different. So one of the things that I think is crucial when you're working with people is you got to kind of read who they are from the get-go, you know what I mean? You got to see if this person's, are they going to be open to advice or feedback, critical feedback, being critiqued, or are they going to be someone that kind of goes in their shell when they get critiqued, or they take it really personal? You know, nothing is personal. No one's trying to, unless like the person's just like the engineer is kind of just like a crappy person. No one's trying to break you down. No one's trying to, you know, make you stop making music. It's not love when you're lying to people and saying that they're good if they're not. You know, that's kind of messed up, because if you were telling them the truth, then they could correct their issues and improve upon their life and their career. So, you know, it's like, well, how do I communicate with someone that maybe is overly sensitive? Or, you know, that's what we're going to talk about first. So, you know, you have to tread lightly. You got to be very professional when working with these kind of people. I would say a good trick would be, you know, say they do their take, they're a rapper or singer, and they do their take, and, you know, they didn't mess up. They went through the whole take and it sounded pretty good. Well, I would recommend first pointing out what sounded good about the take. Maybe they had pretty good energy. Maybe their pitch was sounding good, or their inflection was sounding on point. Now, I would definitely suggest giving them a compliment first, and then kind of ease them into what they're doing wrong. So, you know, say they finish their take and it sounds pretty good, but they're pitchy. You know, I'll be like, all right, that was pretty cool. I really like your energy. You know, you sound like you're pumped up for the song right now, but you just gotta monitor your pitch a little bit better. It's just a little wavery. So, you know, make sure you're taking good enough breaths, something like that, all right? That's just one example. You know, there's been times when, you know, it's like I'm talking to people and I feel like it goes in one ear and out the other. That actually probably happens more than anything else I've seen in the studio. With that said, you know, that's just something you gotta be patient. That's, as an engineer and as a music producer, you have to be super patient. You have to develop that, you know, and it could be very difficult at times, even for me, where if I'm recording someone that can't hit the chorus and they've done it probably like 100 takes in a row, you know, it gets a little tedious after a while. You start spacing out, your eyes start glazing over, you know, you start thinking about what crazy shit you got into the night before, you know. So that is really important. You got to kind of guide them through the process if they're kind of more of a novice, you know. If they just started out, they don't really know what their sound is, kind of walk, you know, kind of like take their hand in a sense and guide them step by step. You know, make sure that they're smiling if it's like a brighter song, a happier song. Make sure that they're taking good enough breaths, that they sound confident, that they have charisma, you know, that they are singing with the correct inflection, that they aren't singing too loud or singing too quiet, depending on what kind of song it is, you know. It's very important. Don't be afraid to speak up, though, as a music producer as well, you know. I'm saying you have to kind of, you know, be smart or be smooth of how you work with certain people, you know. Some people, you know, if they're overly sensitive type, then you got to kind of work around that, but don't be afraid to speak up, because then you're going to be just ruining the song, or you're going to be running into problems down the line if the person's not happy or whatever else it may be. If you're working with someone who doesn't give a fuck, you know, like, I mean, I've also had rappers who aren't that good, but they come in thinking that they're the greatest ever, and, you know, give them a little bit of advice, like, all right, that was pretty cool, but just put a little bit more energy into it, or, all right, it's cool, but you sound like you're reading a little bit, and they don't want any advice. Just hit record, man. Don't even give them advice anymore. Even if they sound terrible, don't give them advice, because they know what they're doing. So, you know, now it's like, well, you don't want to make a bad product from your studio if, you know, so that's definitely important. You know, I don't want anything to leave the studio that doesn't sound good. But if the person's got a crazy ego, I'm not going to let that impact my day. I'm not going to let that affect my day. I'm not going to let that kind of piss me off or control me, you know. So I would recommend still making sure that it sounds audible and, you know, kick ass with the mixing. But if the person doesn't want feedback, don't give them feedback. You're going to throw them out of their own vibe even, you know. Some people just are confident, they know what they're doing, you know. So others can be kind of douchey, but it's the business, so you got to deal with that as well, you know. I find that the best people to work with are the ones that are secure, they're confident and know what they're doing, but they're easy to take feedback. You know, they're easy to coach up. Those are the best artists. I make the best music with them. They are the most joy to work with, you know. If you have an ego, it's cool. There's nothing wrong with having an ego, but just know that shit's gonna hurt you eventually when it comes to working with relationships with people, anything like that. You know, as a music producer, you want to be getting the best out of the artist. Whether it's a sad song, happy song, angry song, whatever it may be. You know, so you gotta kind of coach him up where it's, hey, this song is a sad song from what I'm getting, but you don't sound very sad at the moment, you know, or you're not really sounding too sentimental or vulnerable or anything like that. So you gotta just kind of bring that out more, you know. Ask them questions. That's one great way to get the best out of an artist. Ask them questions, because a lot of times they're not singing that great because they might be insecure. So if you kind of like take them step by step and let them solve the problem in their head, then they might have an epiphany, you know, that big ah moment. So it's definitely some good stuff to think about. What else? With the preamp, when you're getting ready to record, you want to make sure you're not clipping. You know, you want to make sure that the signal's not too hot. I would recommend not going over like negative 14 decibels where it's peaking, you know, negative 12 maybe, but that's usually where I hang out, around anywhere between negative 20, negative 16 decibels. That's kind of where I want the signal to be hitting on my board, my clock. What else? Oh yeah. Again, make sure that you have to be conscious of their breath control. You know, a lot of times artists get so pumped when they're in the booth, they forget everything that they practice goes out the window. And so you kind of want to monitor that, but at the same time, you don't want to overwhelm the artist. I used to kind of do this when I was first starting out 2 years back, where, you know, I heard so many things that were off about the track. I would just kind of tell them all these things at once, and a lot of times that just makes their brain fry. That makes their circuitry just, you know, go out of whack. They can't process all that. So, you know, I try to really keep it minimum. Listen to the most important thing that they're doing possibly wrong, correct that first, and go from there. Let them do takes though, and without giving any feedback, just so they kind of can find their sound, they can find their tone, they can get comfortable themselves. You know, let's see, any other stuff for today? Oh yeah, there's this one cool thing I've been doing lately is I try to get the artist to get it all done on the first take, like the whole song. Or majority of songs. I mean, I know certain songs you can't do that, depending on how the person writes their flow and stuff, but I try to get it all done because that's the performance, you know. You're capturing that performance. It sounds more natural. I find that by like the 8th take, 6th or 7th, 8th take, that if you kind of been giving them a lot of advice, it doesn't sound natural anymore. It doesn't sound genuine. It sounds like it's just been, I don't know, watered down in a sense, because the person's now thinking about so many different things. They're not thinking about the song. And at the end of the day, the most important thing is the song. This is entertainment. This is for fun, you know. This is to get people to feel good. So, you know, I would say for when you're recording yourself, make sure that depending on what kind of tone you're using, if you're gonna be louder, then sing farther away from the microphone. And if you're gonna be quieter, then you can kind of get closer to the microphone, you know? And that way you can maintain a full voice. You know, if you're gonna be using a half voice at this volume, then you wanna make sure that the microphone still sounds full. Compared to if I'm talking, you know, I'm projecting a little bit more, then I don't need the phone to be so close to me. Or a microphone. Yeah, so tomorrow we'll be I'll be putting up another video. I'll probably be doing it 5 times a week. I'll try to do every day if I can, but yeah, I'll talk to you guys soon. Have a good one.